so this is the I Can Read Music, a Note Speller for Piano, Book 1, Beginning Reading by Nancy and Randall Faber. I kind of chose this book because I want to see if it's something that I want to use for my students. And I'm just going to kind of work through it and see if I like it. And if I like it, I'm going to send these videos to my kids. Okay, so the beginning is the table of contents, and I don't know how many lessons I'm going to do in this video. I'm just going to kind of time check myself as I'm going through it. And I'm going to kind of just work through the book and explain it as I do it. Make sure that you always do your theory with a pencil or an erasable pen. Make sure it's actually erasable. Because you always make mistakes in theory, even myself, because you go really fast sometimes and it just kind of happens. I always like to use an erasable pen because I think it's easier to see on these videos. So the first lesson is the staff. The staff is the 5 lines, horizontal lines going across the page, and that's what we write our music on. So there's lines, notes, and there's space notes. There's 5 lines and there's 4 spaces. So the line notes have a line running through them like this, and the space notes just rest in the spaces. So we're going to identify the space notes with an S for space and the line notes with an L for a line. So they did the first one for us. Line note, space note, space note, line note, space note, line note, line note, space note, space note, line note, and another line note. At the bottom of the page, they have Mr. Right Note and Mr. Wrong Note. I'm assuming that's for the teacher to tally up what you did right and what you did wrong. And I got them all right, yay! The next, they kind of just go over them again. They say that we start by counting from the bottom of the lines. This is number 1, going all the way to number 5. Same with the spaces. Space 0 is below the staff. And then we start with inside the space at the bottom is number 1. And now we're going to draw them in based on what they tell us. So line 3, we count from the bottom, 1, 2, 3. Line 1, space 1, space 3, 1, 2, 3. Line 5, space 2, line 2, line 4, space 1, space 0, that means below the staff down there, space 4, and line 1. Yay! Perfect scores of 12. I'll leave that there for a second. Remember, you can always pause the video. Okay, so that's lesson 1. That was pretty easy. I'm going to keep going on because that's only 3 minutes long. Okay, the grand staff is when you put 2 staves together, or 2 staffs together with a brace right here. This is called the brace. If you put it to the side, kind of looks like a mustache. The bottom staff is for the left hand, the LH. Top staff is for the right hand, or the RH. Sometimes the left hand goes into the top, sometimes the right hand goes into the bottom. Just depends on the composer. But for the basic music, when you first get started, that's usually how it is. So you'll see on the top staff the treble clef, and that's what it looks like. And then they just want you to practice drawing it. So you just kind of trace it. So you just trace, and then you just, that's all you do. So, I mean, you can draw them like this. This is how I draw it. Just practice drawing them. Even in the blank sides of the page, you can see every time I draw it, it's gonna look different. They never look perfect, even after 25 years. The bottom staff on the grand staff is the bass clef, and this is for the left hand. Oh, here it says draw 8 treble clefs on your own. Boom, 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 boom. Wow. Some of these are good and some of these are awful. Okay, I like this one. I like this one. I like that one. I like this one. The rest are bleh. The bass clef is a lot easier to draw. And you can see on the piano, here's middle C. Below middle C is bass clef, above middle C is treble clef. It's not always necessarily true. You can have ledger lines, but for the beginning of this book, we'll just call it as it is for right now. Below middle C is bass clef, above middle C is treble clef. So on the fourth line of the staff, we draw a dot and we curve a line, just like how they showed us here. And then there's going to be 2 dots surrounding that line. Dot, dot. You can't put those dots anywhere else. Those 2 dots signify that that line is F. The 2 dots go around that line 4, right where you drew that first big dot. And that's your bass clef. It's kind of like the first side of a harp. And that's lesson 3. Oh wait, no it's not. I skipped a page. Here we're at lesson 3. Okay, so that's 6 minutes in. I think we'll go for another lesson here. So this is talking about treble clefs. This is that right hand clef. They're learning the first 2 notes. It's C and G. So if you're playing piano and you're in C position, this is going to be finger number 1 and finger number 5. So C is below the staff. This is called a ledger line right here. It hangs below the staff, but it's a line. And this is on line 2. These are usually kind of like the first 2 notes that you learn when you're playing piano. Okay, so it says name the notes aloud, then check the notes to see which one is correct. So is it going to be this one or is it going to be this one? So it says C, G, C. Well, it's not G, C, G, so that's incorrect. Blah. What's the bottom one? Here we have C, C, G. That's not this one. That's the top one. G, G, C. It's this one right here. It's not the top one. G, C, C. C, G, G. G, C, G. So you're just checking, is it A or is it B? Second section, name the notes to complete the Halloween words below. Okay, so you're just saying, is this a C or is this a G? It cannot be any other letter because we have not learned any other letter yet. So C or G. C, cat. G, ghost. C, cobweb. G, green hair. Totally Halloween. C, scream. G, goodies. 12 out of 12, yay! Okay, now the sight reading bonanza. It says, dear student, these short examples will help you make a pro at sight reading music. Your teacher will ask you to sight read this page. Okay, so says, wow, teacher's note. Subtract 1 note for each misread note or incorrect rhythm. Oof, harsh. Okay, so there's 3 examples here. You have example 1, example 2, and example 3. Or I guess exercises, not examples. And I know that because they're numbered and because here's the double bar line at the end signifying that the exercise is over. It tells you what your letter is and where to put your finger at. So finger number 1 goes on C, so this is C position. Finger number 1 on C, this is also C position. Finger number 3 on G, 3 on C. This is not C position. So let's look over at the piano. I'm just gonna move this bench out of the way. So number 1, there's nothing in the left hand, so this is just my right hand. I'm gonna put my metronome on, and I'm gonna count myself in. I'm in 4/4 time, so that's 4 beats until I come in. 1, 2, ready, play. Half note, half note. not in 4/4 time, I am in 3/4 time. So I'm gonna give myself 3 beats until I come in. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. Now, for example number 3, I'm going to use both hands. It says finger number 3 is on G, and finger number 3 is on C. I am in 4/4 time, so I'm going to give myself 4 beats until I come in. 1, 2, ready, play. Note, half note, half note. And that's it. And that's your sight reading. So make sure you check your time signature. Make sure you 4/4, 3/4, 4/4. Make sure you check your positions. There's nothing here in the left hand, you don't have to worry about your left hand. Nothing here in the left hand, don't have to worry about your left hand. Oof, left hand. This is not in C position. Check your fingerings. Okie dokie. That is the beginning through page 7.